So, looking up to the wide shot, welcome Adam.
Thank you very much for having me, Roland.
Just to set some context for the viewers then, as an exhibition organiser, you're always looking to balance that portfolio between your digital and your physical, and you've got Vegas and London, really fun, exciting, dynamic events, and we exhibit there as well. So, you know, we like those events, but this is about what do you do about digital? So from your point of view, where was the interest? Where does that fit into the portfolio?
What we were really excited about when it came to what VEX offered was the ability to replicate our exhibition and trade show as it happened physically, so that attendees that wanted to re-look back at those exhibitors, new companies and new attendees that we came across or maybe found the event when the event, after the event, could still get that engaging experience and still use that digital online version to learn through content, to engage with companies who could help support their shows and trade shows, and then for the exhibitors to get longevity out of the event over and above those 2 physical days. And for me, where this really blends well is this is not what most people think of when they think of a digital engagement from an events perspective. You know, we had a good couple of years of people delivering events as a broadcast with some communication, chat, messaging, Q&A polls, those kinds of things. And I think that still exists in the event space, but this is more about it being a platform of discovery and ongoing learning and lead generation for exhibitors and things like that. And also a great shop window for companies who, for me, as a show organizer, are maybe looking at my show for the next year, for the next event coming up, whether that be Vegas or London, as a way that they can leverage it, so they get a really good sense of how the show's laid out and maybe where they might prefer to be within the show and things like that.
And I guess it's an accessibility thing as well. So you've always got part of your audience that really want to go to the live physical show, but can't make it on the day, or, you know, there are other things that prevent them from traveling. And it really means that your whole audience gets to experience it. And this is not about replacing physical. It's absolutely about supporting the physical shows, you know, about engaging people throughout the time between the shows and really boosting the audience to the physical shows.
Providing more value for everybody involved, right? Whether that be the visitor or a company or individual that's just come across the show, whether that be for the exhibitor, and ultimately for us as an organizer, because we see the ability to generate further revenue through this platform, providing value back to the exhibitor, and even bringing the pipeline forward of companies looking to exhibit with us, whether the show be, you know, 6 or more months out. It's a reason for them to participate now, because we can include them in that digital activation and still give them exposure to the audience and start generating those leads and that interest much earlier on than having to wait for the next edition of the show.
And I suppose if you've got a product to launch now, you want to go now, don't you? And then build up to your physical event. Cool. Right, so should we dive in and have a look?
Let's do it.
Okay, so we're inside the hall now. 2 things we can see straight away is that you've got a static hall overview there, and we've got some things hanging from the ceiling. So we call those 360 spinners, and the spinners are very much signposts. They're there to show you where you can drop down onto the floor and get a 360 view. So the idea of this is that when you drop down onto the floor, you can look all the way around you, above and below, and all of the stands that you can see from that view are active, so you can click on them. Now, one of the things we've learnt through 10, 15 years of building virtual shows and seeing several million people go through the shows is that not everybody likes to navigate the same way. So you can navigate visually, so you can hit the 360s, and we'll do that in a minute. We'll drop down to the floor and have a look around. But we also have a floor plan, and if you can have a look at the floor plan. The floor plan's based on the actual real ETL physical. There's an exhibitor list. So there's all the things that you'd expect and want to have, as well as some of the cool stuff. So we've got the stages, and one of the things we love about ETL is the live stages have really good content, really good presentations. It's really interactive. We wanted to kind of bring that to the digital version as well. So hopefully we'll be able to build profiles and you'll be able to contact people, watch their content on demand, and like start that conversation talk and interact with people over time, so it builds this expectation to go see them for real. Now, in terms of where the show's hosted, it's accessible via the ETL website, right? So eventtechlive.com, so it should be fairly obvious when you land there that you'll be able to go to a digital show. So it's very much Vegas, London, online. Now, if we jump down to the floor, then we're inside a 360 here. Now, when you're on the 360s, then this will gently move around very slightly around you so that you can see that you're inside a 360. Now, it's based on your mouse, as I say. It's not Meta, there's no headsets. It's literally driven on your browser. Winner. It also works really well on your mobile, brilliant on iPads and things like that. Other mobile device tablets are available. Now, essentially, a lot of our audience we know is on the move, and we want to make this really accessible and really easy. So in terms of moving around the 360s and doing your navigation, it should be really quick, really fast and seamless on pretty much any device. Older devices could be an issue, but they're getting really old now. So from that point of view, that's all good. What you'll see is stands. So you can hit the mark on the stand and jump into individual stands. So each individual stand has got, when you land there, it will either be a static view or again, it'll be a 360. So you can look either side, you can look around a stand. Some of the stands you can turn around and jump around different places on the stand. But essentially on here, we've got a bunch of different things that are interactive. So other than having the real people on it, hopefully we've got all the content in there that you'd expect to find. So you hit the eyes, you hit the documents, you hit the movies, you hit the TV screen, that's that way. And you can basically get an awful lot of what you would get from the physical show from this stand online. That's all good, nice and visual from a user journey. And you've had a look through this already today, haven't you, Adam? And did it look real? Did it feel real? Did we like it?
I was talking to one of your team earlier, and I've got a good memory of what the show looked like, but it's interesting to go back into it and see that finer detail and the branding and some of the messaging and the key themes and things that we had around the show. And straight away, as soon as I opened it, the word that comes to mind is rich. It's just rich with depth and colour. Other than it being digital and not physical, it feels exactly like the trade show that we had back in November at Excel.
Brilliant. And that's really what we tried to achieve. And for us, really successful digital shows are based on the back of really successful physical shows. It's not one or the other. You've got to have your brand, you've got to have your audience, you've got to have your stakeholders. People have to know what they're going to expect and how they get there. So all we're really doing is we're expanding the accessibility to something you've already built. You guys, like lots of show owners, spent a lot of time looking after your audience, curating content, getting great things happening, and it's really about just improving accessibility and getting that balance that we mentioned earlier between your digital and your physical portfolios. So I'm going to quickly whip through some effectively Q&A, the things we always get asked. You've seen the platform, you know the platform. So for anyone who hasn't, then when you click on something, you hit what we call a hotspot. Now, a hotspot can have a direct website in it. You can build things into it. If you can use social media on a phone, you can use the back end of this. So anything from images, videos, live events, anything that works on a browser will work in here. There's hundreds of templates for how you want to lay it out. But it's also a free service. So if you don't fancy doing that, you can send your content to VX and we will update it for you. So that's, in our terminology, a hotspot. So where's it hosted? Well, it's online. But we do have a large exhibition area called the VEC, which is the Virtual Exhibition Centre. There's a number of really big exhibitions already here. So there's Print Expo, Industry Expo, there's a boat show. In fact, the three of the world's biggest online shows are hosted at the VEC. Now, over on that side, there we go, is our Sustainability Park. And the Sustainability Park is here. Now, ETL Online, obviously you can get there through the website, but we're also going to provide access through the VEC. So the idea is that it's an exhibition area where the hall will be located in here. You can have that visual journey. And I believe, Adam, there is part of the show is going to be event sustainability. in November this year, 2023. And that's an extension to the established ETL show, is it?
As we all know, sustainability is a really important topic, not just for the events industry, but for the world at large. And we want to bring that mix of content and supplier and networking and, just that great platform that we've had with Event Tech Live, and then provide something for the industry at large that is looking for sustainability knowledge and content and supply chain and partners and things like that. And the most sustainable way for us to produce that is to co-locate that with Event Tech Live, and that also will have a digital component to it as well, meaning that anybody around the world can engage with that as well.
Brilliant. So what better place to put that than something where the servers are carbon neutral, and our building where we run an awful lot of the development and we run a lot of the code base and we produce a lot of the visuals is solar powered. So we are officially super sustainable from a venue point of view. So there we go, a event sustainability show in the world's most sustainable environment. So quick plug over in terms of the VX and what it is and the platform. Unless you're an exhibitor and you're changing your content, you're updating it, you haven't looked at your dashboard, being on the VX platform should be seamless. So from our point of view, when you land at ETL, you go on the ETL website, you get into the show, VX isn't really present. So it's a seamless experience for people who invested in the ETL brand. They know what to expect, and we really want them to see the exhibitors who've paid to be part of it. So from that point of view, a little bit of a under the hood, but just for those of you who wanted to know. As an exhibitor, you get a dashboard, and I hope, Adam, you've been looking at your dashboard over the last few months for your digital hub that's been on the website now for a while. And essentially what this does is it tracks people through your site. It tracks people through your stand, and you find out where they're coming on from around the world. From a marketing point of view, super useful, because you can go to your exhibition stand, this is a live stand, and you can look at how many people have visited. In terms of making your way around the show, we've got the layouts. This is very close to, again, London 22, but we've also spoken to London 23 and Vegas people. So the idea is to really, anyone who's actively exhibiting will go onto this floor plan, and like you'd expect with any show, you've got a live exhibitor list. So you can click on the list and jump to that stand to go and have a look at that stand and see what's going on there. Now, from my point of view, that's the show. That's going to be online very soon. If you're watching the video now, you should be able to go straight to the website, quickly register and jump in and have a look around. From an audience point of view, you've got a big audience online, haven't you, Adam? So potentially 20, 30,000 people who are already engaged. And you get really good attendance for the physical shows. So several thousand people are going to go to a physical show. Typically, there's 4 or 5 times as many people who are invested and they're involved and they're using other digital products from you that now have this option. So we're hoping the visitor figures are going to be high. We're going to promote this as well. So there should be a lot of opportunity there to build audience and look at your visitors and really go and have a play with this as a platform. So from that point of view, Adam, is there anything else we need to mention?
We're really looking forward to launching this as an extension of the Event Tech Live brand and what we already offer. There's many people we know, unfortunately, for whatever reason, can't make it to the 2-day physical show each year. We see that in kind of the registration numbers we gain and then the number of people online. And I think this just ticks a real number of boxes for us as a show organizer. I'm sure many other show organizers are looking at these opportunities as mechanisms to deliver more content, keep the communities engaged, keep their audience engaged, provide other ways and means for people to access their trade show and event, and provide value and longevity to the relationships they've got with their existing customer base, and evolve their events to offer new mechanisms and new means of those businesses generating leads and ultimately business, which means they'll probably invest even more so and further in their physical events. So I'm really excited to see it launch. I know you and your team have been working really hard, and a huge thanks from our team to your team for all the hard work that you've put into it. Really looking forward to getting launched.
Great. So the next video hopefully will be us doing a tour when it's live, and we'll have us look at some numbers later in the year and look at some updates and some cool tools. So thank you very much, Adam. Thank you very much everybody for watching. Go and enjoy.